Mitchell Cohen, you finally cracked it for a win. Round number 1 of the 2016 BassCat BASS Pro Series, and you're the victor here at Lake Glenbawn. Firstly, congratulations.
Thanks.
Briefly run us through how you caught your fish.
Very similar to a couple of weeks ago when I was here. I just targeting fish between 45 and 55 feet of water. That was sort of the magic depth. I didn't sort of stray inside or outside that depth. Just trying to get them fish that are sort of slightly off the bottom, and getting them to go to the bottom was the key. If you could get them to follow you to the bottom, that was a good indication that they were, you know, active and they were going to bite.
And were they consistent through the sessions and each day?
No, not really. We sort of had little bite periods, or maybe just, you know, you found them active fish, but if you got one, you'd sort of get another one pretty quick. You know, you'd get 3 or 4 sometimes, but it was a grind. It wasn't easy out there.
Was there a distinct lure and retrieve that you needed?
Oh, just a dead slow roll, really. That was the retrieve. Yeah, I kept telling all my non-boaters, like, you know, like slow down, like you're going too fast. And then, yeah, again, it was I threw a 2.25 inch Pilo grub on a 1/8 Bassman head, and the black gulp on a 1/4 ounce Bassman head.
Now, we've made mention of it many times over the weekend. This event is a first for us, a shed weight and a bass event. Did you find that changed the dynamic in the boat between you and the non-boater?
Yeah, definitely. I was, yeah, my non-boater yesterday, Cameron, he was really good. He's grubbed before, so, you know, he sort of knew what was happening. But yeah, like I suggested a few things to him that was working for me, and you know, he was able to sort of, you know, fix a few little things and catch. I think he caught just as many fish as me. And today, my non-boater Brendan, he actually hadn't caught a bass deep grubbing, and yeah, it was. I think he put the first 2 in the boat actually, and yeah, so that was good to be. You know, it was good to watch him catch his first bass, and he was, yeah, he was pumped. He was psyched. It was awesome.
Now, you know, I mentioned it on stage. You know, between when you started as a non-boater only 3 or 4 years ago to finally winning an event, how sweet does it feel to finally, you know, beat the likes of Peter Phelps, Dan Clancy, Warren Carter, the guys who have paved the path for your success? Yeah,
it's awesome. Yeah, like you say, you grow up watching these guys and what they do, and you know, it's no mean feat. There's a lot of guys that have been fishing for a lot longer than I have, and they still haven't won an event. So yeah, I'm pumped. I'm really happy.
Now you get the afternoon off, and then we're straight into the pre-fish tomorrow.
Yep.
Lead into the St Clair Haswing events. How are you feeling about St Clair?
Not real great. I haven't been there for a fair while. Last time I was there, I yeah, managed a couple of fish doing different things, but just couldn't work out a consistent pattern to catch them. Like I could catch them one day and not the next, and yeah, it was tough for me. But
now, the last time that ABT was at St Clair was the Megabucks last year, and you and Phelpsy did well on that.
Yeah, we went really well. We had a great time. Totally different bite, but yeah, hopefully we can both be up there. That'd be nice.
Fingers crossed.
Yep.
Anybody you'd like to thank for your win at Lake Glenbawn?
Just a big thanks to Rob Searing. Yeah, like I said, he's been looking after me for a couple of years. Great products, Damiki, Pontoon 21 and Fish Arrow. The Flying Fisherman sunglasses, they're awesome. Nighty's just wrapped me boat for me at McKnight Signs, and yeah, I've only had it on for 2 comps and about a first and a second, so I think it's going all right. The missus at home, she's working for me this weekend, so I can come away. And yeah, like I said, just the guys, you know, like Pete and Dan and the guys I social fish with, like they really fast tracked me, you know, to where I am now. So I got to give a big shout out to them guys. So
looking a little bit further down the track, St Clair coming up in a couple of days, as I mentioned, and you're in mixed emotions about how that's going to play out. The next event after that is our Richmond River, a wild river fishery.
Yep.
How do you feel about chasing bass in the rivers?
Oh, I'm excited for that. Yeah, I haven't done a great deal of river fishing, but yeah, I think that's sort of where we've got to be. You know, there's some awesome waterways out there in the rivers, so yeah, I'm really pumped to get on there and have a look around. I think that you know, the local gurus in the lakes and the impoundments, I don't think they're going to fare as well in the rivers. So you know, we might have some catching up to do, but yeah,
the river rats will come out to play.
Yeah,
well,
definitely.
Mate, you started the year in great style. Congratulations, all the best for St Clair.
Thanks, Simon.
Peter Phelps, another solid performance by you at Lake Glenbawn. run us through, where did you fish and how did you catch them?
So I spent pretty well the entirety of the comp in the main basin. I was fortunate enough to be here a few weeks ago, and that's where the majority of the fish are. And I mainly just targeted 50 feet of water, and we were just pitching out just curl-tail grubs, mainly gulp in black coloured on 1/4 ounce Bassman jig heads. And the idea of pitching them out in front was to try and prevent the plastic from spinning on the drop, so hopefully it would get eaten on the drop, or at least encourage a fish to follow it to the bottom. And the idea about pitching out in front was looking for fresh fish. So I just picked some banks and points and sat in that 50-foot zone and just mosey my way along pretty well. Yeah.
So at what depth were those fish holding in 50 foot?
Most of the fish are holding around 40 feet at the moment, but we found most of the fish that were eating it were coming off the bottom. So we're trying to encourage those fish to follow us down 10 feet, and most of the bites were coming straight off the bottom.
And were they tentative bites, or were they fairly aggressive?
No, they were all tentative, you know. So we're lucky enough, a couple of fish ate it on the drop. Some were just, you know, a tiny little bump, one wind off the bottom. Sometimes it was bump, bump, and then you just felt weight, and you just knew it was on. So,
how did you find the share weight format?
I liked it actually. It was good. I certainly wouldn't be in the position that I am now if it wasn't for my non-boaters. They put some key fish in the boat for me, and I liked it. It was good. I obviously encouraged my non-boater to stand up the front with me. I went right through down to what knots they used, went down to the jig heads they were using, showed them how to cut the plastics and that, and explained to them what we were doing, why we were doing it and things like that, and they were over the moon, you know, in what they learnt. Where if it was just a normal pro event, I would have most likely been, you know, in the zone, you know, barely sort of said a word to them, just trying to catch as many fish as I can, and just to basically explain to them what we were doing. So
we chatted to the champion non-boater, Joshua, and he was your co-angler on the first day.
That's correct, yes.
And he was incredibly glowing of how much time and information you were willing to share with him. So I think that's one of the real upsides of the shared weight, is that non-boaters get to garner that information from their boaters that they possibly wouldn't have got previously.
That's right, yeah. I knew there was no way I could do as well as I did just on my own. Like, having to catch 4 fish is pretty tough sometimes, you know, with a tournament and that, and, you know, usually pressure gets to them and things like that. So I needed my non-boaters doing exactly what I was doing to try and catch the fish, and the best way of doing that was just bringing them up to speed, giving them a crash course, telling them what they're doing wrong, you know, telling them they're winding too quick, you know, focus on the bottom, you know, or they're fishing it too high in the water column, rip it in and start again, you know, it's just wasted time, things like that. So I think they learn a lot. So
definitely who shares wins at,
yes, yeah, definitely
action.
with this. So.
Now we're just about to go to St Clair. We chatted to Mitch. He wasn't overly confident what was in store for us when we got there. How are you feeling about what's going to be on offer?
St Clair is renowned for fishing pretty tough in this sort of weather. We've got still hot days, glassed out, no cloud. There's big fish on the edge, I know there is. There's winning fish on the edge, but getting them to bite in this weather is extremely hard. Like, I'm not really sure how it's going to fish. I know there's a lot of fish out in the deep, and this grubbing technique will work well on them, but they're smaller fish, so it's going to be a gamble. It's going to all come down to that pre-fish, if I can work out a way how to catch them. I've spent a lot of time down there trying to work it out, and they're not easy. They're not easy at all.
Now, after St Clair, the next event that we have on the radar is the Richmond River Round, our first ever Bass Pro on a wild fishery, a tidal waterway.
Yes. Yeah.
How are you feeling about going to the rivers?
Oh, I'm absolutely pumped. I've been waiting for this for years. I haven't fished a river round for a lot of years. I did some way back in the early days when we had a few New South Wales rounds down here, and did not know a thing, and I still don't for the rivers, but I'm just excited for the new format, and, you know, I'm loving the idea of not having to grub pretty well, you know, like it's going to be good to be throwing crankbaits and spinner baits and things like that, and top water, and just, yeah, it's going to be an eye-opener. I'm not expecting to do well, but I'm just going to be, you know, over the moon of just something new, I suppose, and that's what I get out of bass fishing. I like to do things new, and that's what really gets me excited, you know. I prefer to catch a fish on a new lure than go out and catch 10 than on a renowned lure, so, yeah.
I couldn't agree more, mate. I've been running bass events for over a decade now, and to have the opportunity for us to get our teeth into something new is something that's very exciting, and I can't wait.
Yeah,
only 5 weeks to go and we'll get stuck into it.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, thanks, mate. All the best.
All right, thank you.
Joshua Higgs, our champion non-boater from Lake Glenbawn. Firstly, congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us, mate, how old are you and where are you from?
Yeah, I'm 33 years old and from Dubbo.
And what do you do for a job?
Just work for the state government managing Crown land.
Now, you've had a great tournament. You drew Peter Phelps on the first day and Brian Everingham on the second. Two great personalities and two equally impressive anglers. Run us through how you caught your fish.
Yeah, drew Peter straight up and had a chat to Peter before the first session, and he explained the game plan of going deep. So that was good because it sort of prepared to do that in coming down. And started off, Peter was casting a little bit to start the session, and I pretty well fished vertically the whole time, and pretty well fished vertically the whole time with Brian today as well. Just rolling plastics, as most guys were this weekend.
Was there a standout colour in those plastics?
Yeah, black for me on a purple jig head was the only combination I really used.
So what depth of water were you fishing them in?
We fished anywhere from 45 to 65 we found fish. Generally around 50 was the sweet spot we found.
So your win here, is that your best result so far in an ABT?
This is my first ABT, so yeah, it certainly is.
What a way to start.
Yeah, first ABT, so yeah, can't complain.
Excellent, mate. Anybody you'd like to thank for your win?
Yeah, I'd like to thank the support I get from Oz Tackle for their support, and obviously the sponsors of the event like BassCat and all the other guys that help things like this happen. It's really good.
Excellent. So when's your next event? Great start for you first. When's your second?
Might be a while now. I've had a change in work commitments, so we'll just have to wait and see how that pans out. I had penciled in a fair bit this year, but that's had to change unfortunately. So
you are going to be chomping at the bit to get to your next event.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, congratulations, mate, and we look forward to seeing you at another event soon.
Thank you very much.